Hi, my name is Ryan Hurley, and today I'll be speaking about travel photography and why I find it to be such an inspirational area of the art form and such an important part in the world that we live in today. So, the reason I have chosen travel photography is because, well, firstly, it's a genre that first got me into photography. It's the one that made me want to pick up a camera and to become a photographer. I find the images in this genre to be so inspirational. I find that the images can inspire people to travel to new places and even to start a new life in a different country. This happened to me personally. I went traveling around Southeast Asia for 1 year in 2018, and a large reason of this was because of images that I was seeing on places like Instagram and books like National Geographic and Lonely Planet. They inspired me to want to go to new places and to photograph these places and see them with my own eyes and to experience new cultures and different ways of life. And it really opened my eyes to the world, and yeah, it changed my life really. So before I continue, what is travel photography? So travel photography is an umbrella genre in photography. There are different areas that one can explore. For example, travel photography can include things such as landscapes, cityscapes, portraits, food safaris, underwater action and adventure, and really anything in between. There's not one specific genre that or area that travel photography is restricted to. It can be many different things. It's not only landscapes, it's not only portraits or only food. There's different areas that one can, and that's what makes it so exciting. That's why people love it so much and they're drawn to it so much. So before I started my research on the topic, I did have some initial thoughts on this particular area, and it was that when travel first started out, it was only available to people who could afford to travel, people who had money. As flying or travel really at this time, it was not commonplace and not available to the everyday person. So it took a while for this to change, but eventually it did, and then more people started traveling, more people started taking images. But of course, not everybody can travel, not everybody could travel, and even still today, this reigns true that people cannot travel now. People cannot travel for financial reasons or other reasons. They cannot leave their town, cities, or countries. But they have images that can inspire them to keep dreaming, to keep hoping that one day they can obtain their goal of traveling to these destinations. And traveling as a photographer in the early days would have been very difficult. Of course, they had the heavy tripod, the cameras, the chemicals to process their images as well. Not like today when all you have to do is pop your SD card into your camera, go out and shoot for the day, bring it back, plug it into your laptop, edit, and there it is, ready to share on the same day. And so when the travel photography first began, I would argue travel photography first began with this image here, by Louis Daguerre in 1838. And the reason I believe this is because it shows the general public the streets of Paris in a photo as so realistic in a photograph. Yes, people may have seen paintings or drawings from previous artists depicting the beautiful streets of Paris and the boulevard, but nothing so lifelike. And this, to me, I feel like people can imagine themselves being in this image. And also, this is the first image that ever captured a person on camera. So this person here was having his shoe shined and stayed still long enough for the exposure to capture him in the frame. So a big moment for photography, and also for travel photography as well, because it, like I said, it captures the essence of Paris. A beautiful image. And I have a quote here from an article that I found online that says, "Travel and photography have grown alongside each other over the years. When options to travel became more widespread, so did the possibilities for capturing these experiences on camera, boosting both convenience and accessibility. Even when travel did become more popular, for a long time it was only available for those with money. Traveling wasn't always accessible to everyone, and many could only dream of seeing the world. So, as I said previously in my initial thoughts, travel would have been available to people who could afford it at the time, and unfortunately the others were left behind with images, just dreaming of the future really. But I believe that these images inspired people to continue to dream and to hopefully one day reach their goal of traveling. And yeah, as I said previously, photographing in the early days would have been difficult with the heavy equipment, but fast forward to 1888 when the first point and shoot was released by George Eastman, the founder of Kodak. This changed photography entirely, and it changed how it was viewed and practiced as well, because now people, all they had to do, there was no longer the need for the heavy tripod cameras and the chemicals. All they had to do was load up their point and shoot, take their photo, send it off to Kodak. They would send it back to you with another roll of film in the point and shoot, and this was how the medium was then practiced, and it changed how everything was viewed and practiced as well. Is a big turning point for photography. And in the same year, in fact, the first National Geographic was published, which was huge for the medium and the genre as well of travel photography, because now photographers had a place for the images to be viewed all in one magazine, and people could see these images and then inspired people to travel and want to go and visit new places and take photographs as well. So this was a huge moment for travel photography and for photography itself. And this is a picture here of the National Geographic magazine, the first one in 1888. But I believe travel is about much more than just picture perfect moments and beautiful landscapes. For example, this image here, one you would probably never find in a holiday brochure, because they probably don't deem it what travelers or holiday makers would like to see. But this for me is what it's all about: different religions, different beliefs, different cultures. And what's happening in this image is people gather in the thousands, in fact, in India to go and take sacred baths in the rivers of the Ganges in India. And this is held to the highest religious beliefs and their highest esteem in their culture. And this is something that I would love to see with my own eyes one day, hopefully as an observer, because I think this is what travel is all about. It's about different cultures and experiencing new things that are different to your own culture and your own way of life. And I also feel that travel photography has now almost merged with photojournalism in a sense, and it's kind of trying to shine a light on some of the world's problems. I was recently watching a program on Netflix named Tales by Light, which is a great program. It's centered around photography. And in one episode, a photographer named Simon Lister, who is employed by UNICEF as a photographer, is in Bangladesh, and he's documenting how some of the locals live and the living conditions, which are pretty bad. And the reason he's doing this is to shine a light on how they live. And so this image, basically what is happening is kids picking up scraps. And what scraps are? They are recyclable plastics and knives, forks, cups, plates, anything they can recycle, really, just to be able to get some money to put food on their table to survive. And without doing this, they wouldn't eat, and who knows what could happen to them. So it's a vicious cycle, because they can't not work because they have to eat, but then by working they can't go to school, which means they can't get the education to get a better life in the future. So it's a vicious cycle. But I hope that by Simon Lister shining a light on this problem, hopefully the world will open their eyes and see what's happening in this day and age, and hopefully something can change. And for my primary research, I've added one of my own photos from my Instagram account to show that even if my average photos can inspire someone to travel, then really so can anybody's. So this is a photo that I took in Koh Lanta in Thailand in 2019. And the comment I'm going to attach with it is from Shutter Addict 101, and it says, "After seeing these beautiful pictures, even I feel like going to these beautiful places." And I feel like if my half-decent photo can inspire someone to travel to a new place and experience new cultures, then I feel like I have succeeded as a photographer, and a travel photographer at that as well. So hopefully this is what it's all about. I think inspiring people to travel is what travel photography is all about. And just to summarize my findings, I found that in the beginning, travel was accessible to people who had money. Unfortunately, the rest were left behind, but had the images to encourage them to keep dreaming, keep pursuing their dreams of travel. Early photographers didn't have it easy with the heavy equipment, and of course the tripods, the cameras, the chemicals, but this changed with the point and shoot in 1888. National Geographic was released the same year as the point and shoot, and played a huge part in the progression of travel photography, because now people could see images of the far corners of the world that they had never seen before, and inspire people to want to actually pick up a camera and do this themselves as well. Travel photography also led to new expeditions and quests for new discoveries, such as Antarctica. People now could see Antarctica for the first time in these incredible alien landscapes, in a sense that had never been even deemed possible. Colour photography became really popular in the 1970s, and just changed photography and how it was viewed, because now everything was viewed in colour and in its true tones and colours. And there was no black and white was still, of course, a thing, but there was no more need to try and fill in the gaps with black and white, because you could see it as it was. And books such as National Geographic and Lonely Planet were invented and changed the way travel has been viewed and approached, because you can pick up a book now and you can, for any location in the world pretty much, and it will tell you the best places to go, the best time to visit, and have the best images there for you to see, and give you tips on food and places to everything. It's just all done for you there in one book. It's incredible. And my last point I would like to bring up is travel photography is about much more than just beautiful views and perfect moments. It speaks about stories of hardship all around the world and aims to open people's eyes to the injustices. And here I have added a list of my references. And I would like to finish off by saying this has been a great assignment. I've learned a lot, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you.